Walk into any crowded room, and you will notice a strange paradox. Men who seem to have everything, the looks, the status, the financial success, often find themselves completely unnoticed, struggling to build any genuine connection. Meanwhile, another man, quiet and unassuming, commands the room without uttering a single boastful word. What does he know that 99% of men miss? The answer lies in 5 ancient psychological shifts. The fourth one is so counterintuitive that modern social training tells you to do the exact opposite, yet it is the ultimate test of a man's character. To understand why this happens, we must look past the superficial advice that dominates modern culture. We are told to focus on the external, our clothes, our bank accounts, the clever lines we rehearse in the mirror. But true connection is never built on the surface. It operates in the quiet undertones of human behavior, in the signals we send when we think no one is watching. Ancient Stoic philosophers understood this deeply. They knew that a man who masters his own mind and actions possesses a rare, magnetic clarity. This is not about control or manipulation. It is about becoming a person of such grounded presence and self-respect that others are naturally drawn to your orbit. Let us begin by exploring the first shift, which centers on the language of physical presence and boundaries. Imagine sitting across from someone in a quiet, candlelit room. The conversation is intellectually stimulating, the laughter is frequent, yet there is a subtle, invisible wall between you. Many men believe that attraction is a puzzle solved entirely through words. They talk, they explain, they joke, but they remain entirely detached from the physical reality of the moment. There is a profound difference between a man who seeks physical proximity out of a desire for validation, and a man who offers touch as a natural extension of his grounded presence. When you touch a person's arm to emphasize a point, or place a reassuring hand on their back to guide them through a chaotic crowd, you are communicating without speaking. You are saying, "I am here, I am aware, and you are safe in my presence." But here is where most men falter. They initiate touch with an expectation. They want a reaction, a green light, or a specific outcome. Human beings, particularly women, possess an incredibly sharp intuition for detecting hidden agendas. When you touch someone because you want to get something from them, it immediately creates an underlying tension. It feels transactional. To break this cycle, we must adopt a fundamental Stoic attitude: outcome independence. When you can offer physical warmth, a gentle, respectful touch, without demanding anything in return, you completely change the dynamic. You become an anchor of comfort, not a source of pressure. You show that you are comfortable in your own skin, and that comfort naturally extends to those around you. As Marcus Aurelius famously observed, we should stop debating what a good man should be, and simply be one. Translate this into your interactions. Stop trying to calculate the perfect move. Simply be present, grounded, and respectful, letting your actions flow from a place of genuine self-assurance. Have you ever found yourself in a conversation, nodding along while desperately trying to think of the next clever thing to say, completely missing what was actually happening right in front of you? This leads us to the second shift, the art of lighthearted, pressure-free engagement. In the realm of modern interaction, men often drift toward 2 extremes. Some become overly serious, treating every conversation like a high-stakes interview where they must prove their worth. Others lean too far into performance, hiding behind nonstop jokes or rehearsed routines. Both approaches stem from the same root cause, a deep-seated anxiety about how they are being perceived. True confidence is playful, yet deeply respectful. It does not take itself too seriously because it does not rely on external approval to feel complete. Consider a simple exchange. If someone shares a personal preference or an opinion, the typical response is to agree quickly, hoping to build rapport through compliance. But a grounded man reacts differently. He might offer a gentle, playful challenge, not to create conflict, but to invite a spirited back and forth. This playful tension is highly engaging. It signals that you are not walking on eggshells, desperately trying to please. It shows you have your own perspective, and you are comfortable sharing it. This requires a complete release of the need for validation. When you say something playful, do you immediately look for a smile, or do you remain perfectly relaxed, comfortable in your own silence? The Stoic writers spoke at length about the freedom that comes from releasing our attachment to public opinion. When you bring this philosophy into your personal life, your conversations stop feeling like tests you must pass and begin to feel like cooperative explorations. You create an atmosphere of warmth and ease, which is one of the rarest and most attractive environments a person can experience. This brings us to a crucial realization. The rarest currency in the modern world is undivided attention. This is our third shift. We live in an era of constant distraction. Our phones buzz, our minds wander, and we are perpetually looking over the shoulder of the person we are speaking with, searching for the next source of stimulation. When you truly listen to someone, not just hearing their words, but observing the subtle shifts in their expression, the tone of their voice, and the emotions beneath their story, you are giving them a rare gift. Most men do not listen. They simply wait for their turn to speak. They are rehearsing their next sentence, preparing to boast, or planning how to steer the conversation back to themselves. When you listen with genuine, active curiosity, the dynamic shifts entirely. You ask questions that show you actually care about the nuances of their thoughts. You remember the small details they mentioned hours ago. This creates a powerful, emotional safety net. The other person begins to feel truly seen, not just observed as an object of interest, but understood as an individual. Epictetus offered a timeless truth when he remarked that we have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so that we can listen twice as much as we speak. This is not a passive act. It is an active, energetic commitment to the present moment. A man who can hold silent, focused attention without feeling the need to fill every pause with his own voice demonstrates immense inner strength. He becomes a sanctuary in a noisy world, a person with whom others feel safe opening up and sharing their authentic selves. If you have made it this far, you are already thinking differently than the vast majority. But what we are about to discuss next is where most men completely fail, because it requires conquering the one thing our ego hates most. This is our fourth shift, emotional stability in moments of uncertainty. Life is inherently unpredictable. Plans fall through, traffic causes delays, opinions clash, and moods shift without warning. In these moments of friction, the true nature of a man's character is laid bare. When things do not go according to plan, the average man reacts with irritation, anxiety, or defensiveness. If his partner is in a bad mood, he takes it personally and lashes out, or withdraws into a cold, passive-aggressive silence. He allows external circumstances to dictate his internal state. This volatility is deeply unsettling to those around him. It signals that he is fragile, easily shaken by the minor storms of daily life. A stoic-minded man reacts differently. When the storm hits, he becomes the anchor. He understands that he cannot control external events, but he has absolute power over his response. If a plan is ruined, he smiles and adapts. If the person across from him is having a difficult day, he does not absorb their negative energy. Instead, he offers a calm, steady presence that allows them to find their balance again. This stability is not cold or unfeeling. It is the quiet strength of a mountain that remains unmoved by the wind. When you can maintain your composure and warmth during moments of stress, you send a powerful, reassuring signal. You demonstrate that you are reliable, that you can navigate the chaotic currents of life with grace, and that your emotional state is secure, independent of external conditions. As Seneca wisely noted, true greatness of mind is to be resilient, to meet adversity with a calm spirit. When you embody this resilience, you become a source of comfort and strength for everyone in your life. This leads us to the fifth and perhaps most challenging shift, the willingness to step back. This is the ultimate test of self-respect. Many men believe that the only way to build a connection is through relentless pursuit. They double text, they rearrange their entire schedules, and they compromise their own values just to keep someone interested. They mistake desperation for dedication. But in reality, this constant chasing has the opposite effect. It signals a complete lack of personal value. It suggests that your time, your energy, and your presence are cheap commodities that can be easily acquired without mutual effort. A man who understands his own worth does not chase. He does not beg for attention, nor does he tolerate disrespect. He holds clear, firm boundaries. When he senses a lack of mutual effort, respect, or interest, he does not react with anger, dramatic outbursts, or petty games. He simply steps back. He reclaims his time and redirects his focus toward his own path, his own purpose, and his own self-improvement. This is not a tactic to manipulate someone into chasing him. It is a genuine reflection of his self-respect. He knows that his life is complete on its own, and while he is willing to share it with someone who values it, he will never compromise his dignity for their attention. This level of independence is incredibly compelling. When you show that you are entirely capable of walking away from any situation that does not respect your value, the pressure vanishes. In its place, a natural curiosity grows. People begin to wonder about the source of your quiet confidence, and they realize that your presence is a privilege to be earned, not a given to be taken for granted. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. This is the ultimate foundation of all meaningful connection. You do not need external validation to be complete. You do not need another person to fill a void within you. You are already whole, and when you approach relationships from this position of strength, you naturally draw people in. Integrating these 5 principles into your life is not a quick fix or a set of rules to memorize. It is a lifelong practice of cultivating presence, emotional stability, and deep self-respect. When you focus on building your own character, the quality of your connections will naturally elevate. You will no longer feel the need to chase, because your grounded energy will naturally attract those who appreciate who you truly are. If you found value in this discussion, take a moment to subscribe, leave a comment with your thoughts on these principles, and share this video with someone who might benefit from this perspective. Let us continue to build our minds and our characters together.